always tell my students that if there's an internet connection problem, just think of it as a fire. Huh?
Sorry for interrupting. It's not related to internet connections. I got the early class today, and professor checked with Miami-Dade College. It's some blackboard issues. This was the same situation we used to have. It's not related to internet connections from any other.
Oh, blackboard. Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, I think we're gonna start using Canvas pretty soon. I hope that's better.
If you're not gonna be paranoid, so some brain not really accepted.
What's that?
Not everybody can absorb well, cannabis.
Not everyone can absorb well. Okay. What cannabis? You know what? People have a problem with cannabis? I don't understand what you're saying, Natalia.
You mentioned with everybody, we have to start using cannabis, right? Am I right?
Right.
Or one day everybody will start using cannabis.
Right.
But due to very unique chemical structure of the THC, the brain reacts.
No, cannabis, not cannabis. Canvas.
You're talking about cannabis?
No.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it could be. I mispronounced too. Okay, so let us continue with the cannabis. No, Natalia, canvas is something like blackboard.
Canvas, I know what canvas means. So I
just
hear you all the time, so it's fine. Thank you for clarification.
No problem. Okay, so right. So the next thing that Kant is going to ask is, well, do the consequences play a role in morality, right? Is it the case that if the consequences of some action are good, this indicates that the will is good, the person is good? And he's going to say no. So now he's going against the utilitarians. Don't forget, the utilitarians, Bentham and Mill, they claim that morality, you can determine, you can tell that some action is moral by considering the consequences of the action. If the consequences of the action benefit the majority, if they give the majority pleasure, excuse me, or happiness, then the action is moral. Kant says no. Because Kant also wants to disagree with them, right? According to Kant, the consequences may be good. The consequences may be great. The consequences of some action may be awesome. However, it doesn't mean that the will is good. So suppose that there is a shopkeeper. He sells shoes. Or he sells cannabis, right? Well, he sells shoes. And he's not making any money. The shop is not making any money. Nobody's coming in to buy shoes, man. I wouldn't buy shoes. I'm going to buy shoes later. I need shoes. That's what I'll do later on tonight. But anyways, in this particular scenario, no one is buying shoes. So the shopkeeper wonders, what do I do? I know, he says. In order to attract customers, I'll have a sale. Everything's going to be half off. Wow, half off. Not just too much. 25% off. Everything's going to be 25% off. So he has a sale. Everyone from all over town comes to the shoe store. They can all afford the shoes now. Before they couldn't. Now everyone can afford the shoes. And the people are in the streets dancing with their shoes, talking about their shoes. They're so happy with their shoes. And the shopkeeper's making a lot of money. Everybody's happy. Everyone is happy. However, it doesn't mean the shopkeeper is moral. Right? It doesn't mean he's immoral. Nothing wrong with making money, right? I don't think so. Kat doesn't think so. You want to make money, go make some money. Maybe you shouldn't make too much money. Right? Everything in moderation. You don't want to live like a pharaoh. No, I don't think anyone should live like a pharaoh. I don't see why someone has to have $400 billion. I don't understand that. But capitalism can be fine. It's okay if it's not too crazy. Nothing wrong with it. However, the shopkeeper is not moral. Yes, everyone is happy. Everyone has pleasure. And so on and so forth. So the utilitarians, Bentham and Mill, would say having the sale was the moral thing to do. Kant would say, bullshit. He was just thinking about making money. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just not praiseworthy. So Kant believes that neither the inclination that a person has to act, nor the consequences, though they may be spectacular, though they may be great, have anything to do with morality. Trying to get you to this device is a little different. It's a good thing I got. Oh, but you're right, Natalia. It's not the internet, because I just checked my other laptop and the internet is back, so it appears to be Blackboard. Let me get rid of this though. There we go. Yeah, suppose that it is clear that the consequences of an action will benefit the majority. Shoes are 25% off. Still, what may be motivating you is that your action serves your interests. But doing something because it serves your interest does not mean that you have a good will. Kant writes about the shopkeeper who's selling shoes. With regard to the honest merchant, Kant writes, thus the action was done neither from duty nor from immediate inclination, but merely from a self-serving aim. Yeah, of course. There you are. You got it. So, my dear students, so far, this is what we got, and this is what you need to know for the final exam. What is a good will, according to Kant? Well, it's something we always want. We never want to get rid of it. Does it act out of inclination? No. Do the consequences make it good? No. So then what the hell is it that gets a will to act morally? If it's not my feelings, if it's not my inclination, if it's not the consequences, what's going to make me moral? What's going to make me moral? And we come now to Kant's first proposition of morality. If it is to have moral worth, an action is to be done from a sense of duty, obligation. Sense here doesn't mean feeling. Sense can mean feeling from time to time. You talk about the senses, right? The senses feel, right? They perceive. But sense also means something like intelligence, right? Like a man of good sense, a woman of good sense, right? That's the sense in which Kant is using sense, right? It means something like a grasp, an intellectual, rational understanding. So, if someone is moral, if some action is moral, then it's rooted in an understanding of what? Of an obligation. There's an understanding of an obligation. You don't feel that the obligation is correct. You understand that it is. For Hume, feelings are very important. For Kant, they are not. So let's contrast. Let's contrast the moral philosophies of Hume, the utilitarians, and Kant with a scenario, with a little story I'm going to tell you that you should always remember. Again, this stuff is going to come up in in college again. And this little story I will tell you, it's going to help you. Sometimes stories are like images, right? They can set a plot. They can remind you of things. So suppose some platoon, right? Bunch of soldiers out there fighting a war somewhere, right? The platoon is out there fighting a war. And Reggie has been taken by the enemy. Where's Reggie? He's gone. Enemy took him. What are they doing to Reggie? Well, he's up there on that hill in that cabin. Reggie is up there on that hill in that cabin. Well, what are they doing to him? They're torturing him. Oh, shit, really? Yeah. Well, they got to get information, so they torture you. Okay. Poor Reggie, undergoing torture. That sucks. So, the platoon commander, or platoon leader, I think it's commander. I forgot the term. Leader. Thank you, Gushan. Leader. I don't know why I thought it was commander. I guess commander's fine, but I want the correct term, and I appreciate the corrections. The platoon leader says, one of you has to go up there to rescue Reggie. You got to climb that hill. So all of a sudden, immediately, Charles raises his hand. Me, I'll go rescue Reggie. Okay, take it easy. This is because Charles likes war, right? Charles is very courageous, right? He likes war. These people exist, right? There are people who, the great American writer Ambrose Bierce, whom you should read if you want to improve your English. His grammar's perfect, and it's very entertaining. It's a horror story, but again, the English is perfect. He was always in a war somewhere. He was always fighting in some war. When the war was over, he was looking for the next war. The Civil War was over here. No more Civil War. What do I do? He went to Mexico to fight the Civil War there, and no one knows what happened. Some people are born to go to war. They like it. So Charles, he knows that Reggie's up there. He loves the action, man. So he goes up the hill. And they're shooting at him. The bullets are grazing him, and he says, yes, it feels so good. I love it. Goes up there, rescues Reggie, climbs, sorry, can you climb down? I'll just say climbs down. Walks down the hill, loving the action, smiling as he gets shot, and delivers Reggie to the platoon. According to Kant, although we need people like this, although we need people like Charles, what Charles did is not moral. He just acted from inclination. He just did what he felt like doing. Right? It's not to say he's no good. It's not to say there's something wrong with Charles. It's just we're going to put things under the correct category, says Kant. He's courageous. He's daring. He's needed. You may envy his courage, 100%, but that doesn't make him moral. Yes, Gabriela. No, I think Gabriela's hand was up. It might have been an accident. Her internet hand was up. So, yeah, that doesn't make him moral. Oh, could you say he was honorable? I think so. Maybe. You would have to ask Kant. I really don't know. But Kant will tell you that morality-wise, there's nothing praiseworthy there, right? Just as my boss used to bring us food, because that's just the way he was, right? Food and drinks, pizza, all the time. I'm going to McDonald's. Do you want something? Yes. It's on me. Good. Just as my boss was generous by nature, born that way. It's nice. It's great. Charles is courageous, maybe honorable, maybe a million other things that are good, but it's not morality. You see, for Kant, what is moral is difficult. This is why, according to Kant, God cannot be moral if there is a God, right? God can be benevolent, but morality is a category that applies to certain human beings, right? And morality is has its he uses the adjective praiseworthy. So I guess he would say of Charles, he would say certain positive thing. Kant would definitely say certain positive thing of Charles, but he wouldn't call him praiseworthy or moral. Just as he would not call a tiger that instinctively pounces on its prey praiseworthy or moral. And I don't know about honorable, to be honest with you, Gabriela. The more I think about it, the more because Kant doesn't say, so I have to imagine what would Kant say. I'm leaning, I'm inclined to think he might say it's honorable, he might not. It depends on how Kant defines honor, right? So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember the word honor showing up anywhere in the ground. Good question. Yeah, sometimes we don't know the answer because the philosopher himself was never asked that question. Sometimes my student asks me, what did Aristotle think of this? We don't know. He never said anything about it. You could make a good guess, but I can't right now. Good question. Now, suppose the second soldier, suppose that Charles isn't there. Suppose Charles isn't there. He's on R&R or something. Suppose he's on R&R. But let's say Jeremy's there. And the platoon leader once again asks, "Who wants to go up there to rescue Reggie? He's undergoing torture. Life is tough for him." And what's his name? Jeremy says, "I'll go." But why does Jeremy go? Jeremy goes because Jeremy sees that the camera crews are there. CNN and Fox and MSNBC and all those devices of agitation, they are all filming the war, right? They are all filming the war. And Jeremy reasons, if I go up there and rescue Reggie, and I'm carrying Reggie on my shoulder, right? And the camera crews see me, I'm going to be a national hero. So I'll go, says Jeremy. I'll go. It's risky. I might die, but it's worth it. So Jeremy goes up there, rescues Reggie, comes down, the camera crews film him, and now everyone is happy, everyone is pleased, the country's happy, they have a new hero, he sells books, of course Reggie is happy, he was rescued, Reggie's family is happy, the whole world, everyone involved, lots of people involved, the enemy is not happy, but we'll suppose the enemy is just two or three bad guys, right? The majority are happy. The majority is happy, I should say. Well, clearly the utilitarian would say, Bentham and Mill would say the action was moral. Look, the majority's happy, the majority's pleased. The action's clearly moral, and Kant's going to say no. It is true, says Kant. The consequences are happiness and pleasure and so on. I see that. I see that everybody is jumping for joy, says Kant. Still, the action wasn't moral. It was selfish. Jeremy was only thinking of himself. Now, suppose that Charles, the courageous one, nor Jeremy, the selfish one, are there. Suppose instead that David is there. I'm just making up these names. David is there. And once again, the platoon leader said, someone's got to go up there to rescue Reggie, and you're the only one here, David. So you know what? You're going to have to go. And David says, oh, shit, right? I got to go rescue Reggie, says David. This sucks. I don't like Reggie. I never liked him. The minute I saw him, I just didn't like him. However, I do like his wife, right? And as a matter of fact, if Reggie's out of the picture and his wife has been giving me the eye, you know what I mean? She's been looking at me and I've been looking at her. With Reggie out of the picture, I could move in. Make the moves on his wife. And again, I don't even like the guy. He cheats when he bets. When he plays cards, he cheats, right? He owes me $50. Reggie owes me $50. And he's always cheating. And he smells. I am not inclined at all. I am not inclined at all, says David to himself, to go rescue that son of a, and so on and so on and so on. And what's in it for me? The camera crews were here yesterday. They're gone now. However, says David, it is my duty. I understand that it is my duty. So I will go and rescue Reggie. David, my dear students, is the one, according to Immanuel Kant, with the good will. Let's take a break. I'll see you in, or you'll see me maybe in 20 minutes.